Were you aware that asbestos is the Golden State's official mineral? Serpentine, the source of chrysotile asbestos, is found in abundance in the foothills of California's three major mountain ranges. It should come as no surprise. Major asbestos operations are located in Quebec and upstate New York, which is part of the Canadian Shield, possibly the oldest and most stable geologic formation on the planet. More often, however, asbestos is found in geologically young and active areas, such as the west coast of North America. Where there are volcanoes and earthquakes, there is likely to be asbestos, which geologists classify as a metamorphic rock. This is certainly true of California, where serpentine is abundant. Naturally occurring asbestos hazards. Humans have lived in California for thousands and possibly tens of thousands of years. Indian peoples such as the Miwok of the Sierra foothills, the Castanoans, or other groups in the northern part of the state walked, hunted, fished, gathered, made war, and lived their lives right on top of major serpentine deposits over the centuries. However, their hunting-gathering lifestyles did not normally disturb the ground. Early Spanish settlers engaged in farming and ranching, neither of which was likely to stir up asbestos deposits. Later, gold seekers worked further up into the granite of the Sierra Range. Recently, however, as the population of California has grown unabated, the demand for housing has led to the construction of housing developments in the foothills, where construction activity has exposed these serpentine deposits, leading to the release of asbestos fibers into the air. This has been happening in the community of the El Dorado Hills, located on U.S. Highway 50, about 25 miles east of Sacramento. North of the Los Angeles Basin, California's three major mountain ranges surround an immense central valley known as the San Joaquin in the south and the Sacramento in the north. An examination map of California published by the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry shows how the locations of serpentine deposits follow these mountain ranges quite closely. There is also a dense cluster of asbestos deposits located in the Mojave Desert, only 50 miles south of Las Vegas, Nevada. Industrial and occupational exposures. California has also been home to many shipyards and marine repair facilities, as well as large numbers of other industries. There are no fewer than 25 oil refineries in California, as well as nearly 20 major shipyards and some 11 power plants and energy generation facilities. Mining and smelting operations were also located around the state. Asbestos insulation was used extensively in the shipbuilding and marine repair industry, particularly those of the U.S. Navy. A disproportionate number of U.S. veterans who develop asbestos diseases are those who served on seagoing vessels. Such naval shipyards were located in the Bay Area up until the late 1980s and early 90s. The San Diego base is the Navy's largest. This and the state's large overall population are the primary reasons that the large majority of California's asbestos-related deaths over the 20-year period between 1979 and 1999 were in Los Angeles, Orange, and San Diego counties, accounting for well over 25% of the total. The Bay Area counties of Contra Costa, Alameda, San Mateo, and San Francisco made up an additional 20%. Generally, asbestosis is far more common than mesothelioma. However, in California, slightly over half of asbestos-related fatalities were due to mesothelioma. Nonetheless, when the data is broken down on a county-by-county basis, an interesting pattern emerges. Asbestosis is more prevalent in lightly populated rural counties. The more urbanized an area is, the more likely the patient was to have contracted mesothelioma. Legal resources in California. California is a state with a history of pro-victim lawsuits in mesothelioma cases, with many cases awarding both actual and punitive damages to victims of asbestos-related disease. Verdicts in these cases are often for damages to the victim in excess of $1 million. There are several cases where even larger amounts were awarded, such as Peterson and Peterson versus Hill for $20 million and Todak versus Foster Wheeler, LLC for over $33 million. Many of the victims in the state, particularly those awarded money in courts in the San Francisco Bay Area, were first exposed to asbestos while serving in the Navy. The statute of limitations for personal injury law in California is 2 years, with a discovery rule that states that this amount of time begins when the problem, in this case the mesothelioma, either was discovered or should have been discovered. However, the standard 1-year discovery rule for wrongful death cases does not apply in asbestos cases. Additionally, in the case of Hamilton versus Asbestos Corporation, Ltd., which took place in the year 2000, the courts ruled that victims who previously filed suit for non-fatal asbestos-related breathing disorders may file a second lawsuit if and when they are diagnosed with mesothelioma or another asbestos-caused illness. The case further specified that asbestos disease claims may be filed any time up to 1 year after the victim is unable to work in his or her regular occupation because of the asbestos-caused illness. Many additional case examples from California demonstrating the pro-victim stance in the state are listed in this section of Asbestos.Net. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis, and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.Net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.Net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.Net, information and help for patients and families.